Hi YouTube. Today I'm going to be doing a video about nose piercings for those people who, or yeah, mostly nose piercings, for people who, are thinking about getting their nose pierced, but aren't really sure, they want to know what to expect. It's not something I don't think that you should take lightly. I know a lot of people just go and get any kind of piercing, and don't really think about it. And even though piercings aren't really that permanent, I mean, they can be. It depends, on your body type and everything. You can take them out. Sometimes the hole will close up. Sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes it only closes up, part way. And I'm just putting this out there for people, like me. I did a lot of research, and some videos were helpful, some weren't. And just from my personal experience, I got my nose pierced, as you can see, a little over a month ago, and I haven't had any problems so far, and it's healing very well. It's pretty much healed by now. I've been changing it, and it's fine. But just some things to think about, what to expect when you get it done. Things they don't tell you after you get that happen after you get it done that you don't expect, and how to take care of it afterwards. So, firstly, just think about, do you really want one? I know, for me, I thought about it for a long, long time. I was originally going to get it done when I was 16. I'm now almost 19, and I just got it done because I kept going back and forth. I couldn't make up my mind, whether I really wanted something on my face like that, and whether it would look good or not, because it's not something you can just try out for a week. And they are, even though they're not, like tattoos, they're not that permanent, but they can be semi-permanent. I mean, it depends on your body type. If you decide you don't want it and you take it out, sometimes it closes up and you can't see it, and it's just like it was before. Other times, I know for some people it doesn't close up, and granted the hole is very tiny, you still have a little hole there. Sometimes it closes up halfway. Sometimes it'll close up and it'll scar, and then you're gonna have like a little tiny scar there. So even though that can be easily covered with makeup or concealer or whatever, just think about, is that something you're willing to deal with if that situation happens. Secondly, another thing to really think about is, does your school or your work environment or your parents allow it? I know I work at a place that doesn't allow facial piercings, and so there are ways to get around it. There's ways to cover it up, and I wouldn't recommend getting one if your parents, if you're younger and your parents don't approve. Some places, if you're under 18, you can't even get it done without their signature. I think the laws are different in each state, but if your school or work, doesn't allow it, for the first maybe 3 weeks, there's really not a whole lot of ways to get around it, except for putting a Band-Aid over it, which it can be really ugly because you're not supposed to take it out. And what I did, instead of putting like a huge Band-Aid over my nose and looking like there's something wrong with me, I would just cut a little tiny, like, triangle-shaped thing out from the sticky part of the Band-Aid and put it over my nose. I mean, you could still see the Band-Aid there, but it just looked like I had like a little cut or something. But after it heals for maybe 3 weeks, I mean, everybody's different. Mine was pretty healed after probably 3 weeks is when I changed mine. And retainers are great. I didn't find out about these until after I got it pierced, but I'll show you what they are if you don't know already. I'm not sure if you'll be able to see this or not, but can you see that? They are a little tiny clear. Mine, they come in different ways. If you can see, does that help? No, probably not. That probably makes it worse. But if you can see, it has a flat end. It has a flat end, and these are just nose bones. Like, it's just a little stud thing, but they're They're kind of bendy. They're clear, and you can put them in after you can change it. And you can't. The only way you could possibly tell you had something there is if you went like that and like looked right at it, which obviously nobody's really gonna do. And mine came with these little backs, kind of like an earring back, made like plastic. I don't really use them, but I got a pack of 3 of these at Walmart for $5. But anyway, yeah, you can put those in, and it doesn't look like you have a piercing at all. So that's one way. Another way, some people just take them out. I am not comfortable with taking mine out and leaving it out yet because I just don't know if it will close or not. Some people do that. I know people. My mom, for instance, has hers pierced, and she can take it out and leave it out for just like an earring, and leave it out, and it doesn't close. So I don't know, but mine's pretty new, so I'm not really comfortable with that yet. And some people, I would not recommend this. Some people use concealer, like smudge makeup all over it. I wouldn't recommend that either, because you're not supposed to get things in the piercing, especially while it's still healing. It'll irritate it a lot. Okay, next thing. Do you have other piercings? Did you get your ears pierced, your belly button? I know I got my belly button before I got my nose pierced, and if you are somebody who has different piercings and they got infected or they rejected, or you had a lot of problems with them, they didn't heal well, most likely your other piercings are gonna follow that same kind of trend. So some people are just more prone to infections and things than others are. I know a girl that had her belly button pierced 5 times, and each time it just rejected, and she had a lot of trouble trying to get any piercings because they would just reject and get infected, and it would be a mess. As for me, I don't really have any problems with mine. I don't have any earrings in right now, but I have my cartilage pierced and my nose pierced 3 times in the lobe, and my belly button and my nose, but mine go okay. So if you're a person that they go fine, that's something to consider. Of course, things can happen, even if your other ones went fine. If you don't take care of it, different things can happen. Some things to think about that people don't really talk about, or they don't necessarily tell you that will probably happen. I know almost all of these were nice little surprises for me. I didn't expect it. And so, yeah, number 1, it's really gross, but it's going to happen. Boogers get caught all the time. Especially, I don't know, it just, at first, usually nowadays, they pierce them originally with a screw. So that, I'll show you a nose screw. That is what I have in right now. I have a screw in. So like that. Yeah. And they are quite fun to try to get in and out. But most places pierce them originally with that. So if they don't fall out while you're sleeping, or if they get pulled on, because they don't pierce them with nose bones like this. That's what they're called. They're just straight because they can pull out very easily. But yeah, I had mine pierced with a screw, and they give you extra room for swelling, so it's a little big in there, and boogers are going to get caught on it. It's disgusting, and it happens all the time. Especially overnight if you get a booger and it gets like crusted on it and you can't get it off. What I would suggest is filling a cup or a bowl up with really warm water, and you stick your nose in it like that, and leave it in there. You stick your nose in it, and for about a minute, and then it's really disgusting, but it melts the boogers, and then you can take like a Q-tip and get them off, so you can clean it. And sometimes it hurts, but yeah, it happens. So that's one thing you have to be prepared to deal with. As it heals, it's not as bad, and you can just blow your nose like normal, but especially for the first couple weeks, it's really sore and tender. And, you can't really blow your nose like you normally would. So yeah. Number 2, it's going to get caught on things. It gets caught on pillows if you're sleeping, your pillowcase. It will get caught on your towels after you get out of the shower. You're drying your face off. It's going to get caught on those. Yeah, it's quite painful actually, especially if you get out of the shower and you're drying your face off, and you pull it away from your face and you don't realize it's caught on there, and it'll yank it, and especially while it's still healing, it hurts so bad. So that's one thing you just gotta be careful of. So, you can try to avoid that. I know now when I get out of the shower, like even if it's healed, it still hurts when you yank on it. So now I cover it up like that with my finger while I'm drying the rest of my face, and then I dry around it more carefully, or even like with a Q-tip or something. And like I said, they pierce them with the screws usually now. And one thing they don't really mention, they never mentioned it to me, is that the screws can be kind of hard to get out. When you try to get it out, you're like, oh my god, I can't get this thing out of my nose. They do come out, but it takes a lot of practice, and it's really difficult to get them out and replace the screw back in. And maybe I'll do another video about that in the future. But just so that's something to be aware of. You might have trouble with that. And if you cry a lot, or you get sick, or you're crying and you're snotting all over the place and blowing your nose, and, even if it's healed, it's gonna get like irritated, and it's gonna get red and sore, or if you get a cold, and you're blowing your nose constantly. So I think that'll always happen. It's just something you gotta deal with, and it is a total myth. I know people say this, but it's not true at all. If you take your nose out and you blow your nose and the boogers or snot or whatever's going to shoot out your nose hole, that does not happen at all. I know people told me that, but it just doesn't happen. And then if you do decide to get it pierced, if you're prepared to deal with all that, it's not as bad as it sounds. It's just things to be cautious of. What you can expect is you go in, make sure that your piercing place is a reputable place. It's clean. They use sterilized needles. They use gloves. Everything is new and opened right in front of you. Just do not get it pierced with a gun. Get it pierced with a needle, even though it hurts a little more. It does not hurt that much. It's like a little pinch. I mean, everybody's pain tolerance is different, but for me, my belly button hurt a lot worse. And even if it does hurt for you, it's not, the pain doesn't last a long time. So if, you really want to get it done, it's like 5 seconds of pain really to deal with it. And it's not that bad. So, they'll take you in, they put like a little cork thing in your nose, they stick the needle through, put the, screw in, and you're done. And then to clean it, all you need to do is, I use Q-tips. I put the Q-tip in some Dove soap, make sure it's a soft, unscented, gentle soap, and I clean around the outside of it. And then, you can see that. Yeah. I don't know if you can see my cork screw there. You want to clean around the inside. That's going to be swollen and sore for a little while. Soak it in salt water, sea salt, not table salt, and make sure it's non-iodized. And dry it with paper products. Don't use towels, they harbor bacteria, it'll get infected. So you want to be careful. Use a paper towel, use, cotton balls, cotton swabs, things like that. And H2Ocean, it comes in a can. It's a bottle, and it's a spray. It's just saltwater spray. You spray that on, you leave it on. It just promotes the healing and makes things a lot easier. So, yeah, that's about it. And I would recommend getting it done. I like nose piercings, and it's not all as bad as it sounds.